Hey, I was curious as to whether I could sharpen from dull my K390 Spyderco Police using the Spyderco Medium as the primary sharpening device. I'm not sure how it's going to go, to be honest. I feel like it's going to be a little bit too slow going for my current skill level, but we will see. I'm just unloading it as best as I can right now with an eraser. Wet cloth there. So these are dry stones. You're supposed to just use them dry. It doesn't seem to hurt them if you use them a little bit damp. They soak up a little bit of water, slightly porous. But yeah, I'm just going to color in this edge, and we're going to see if I can make it a paper slicing edge once again, because right now it's not. It's been used a little bit out in the garden recently. The Police 4, I did a recent sharpening with it on the this, and kind of got it back in my pocket again for a bit. I love these Police 4s. They're a bit odd and awkward to sort of carry around with you when other folks are going to see them. It's just kind of too big, odd looking knife, but great in hand and a good performer for your bigger jobs for sure. Right, let's. I'll just show you it's dull. My God. Right. It's just tearing the paper. So let's go in at a low angle and try and redo it. So as I'm still learning, I'm using this technique because it makes me go off the edge less with the tip, and it kind of makes me stop in the middle of the stone as best as I can, and therefore you don't get that little tip damage that you can get by sort of clattering off the edge of the stone and down onto the table. Sort of see there, I'm not quite reaching the edge right near the heel, so I need to sort of lift it up just a little bit more. K390 is a pretty hard steel. I believe it's running at 63 or 64 in these Spydercos. I think I heard that once somewhere. And it's just a high tungsten steel. It's got a lot going on in it. High tungsten, high vanadium. One of the two. Lots of those harder carbides in it that just need usually diamonds to easily sharpen them. And it is an easy enough sharpen with diamonds, but the goal of this video is to see if I can do it with ceramics only. Because I've got a CBN stone I could use there, but you know what? It's a bit of a thought experiment at the very least. Just impressed if I'll be able to burr this at all. Ooh, a slight burr near the tip, but nothing down near the flat. So I might just work at it a little bit like this, just to get it moving. Tell you what, I really do begin to have an opinion on sharpening tools when you start freehand sharpening. That's for darn sure. Little, sharpening divots. These Spydercos kind of go right to the finger choil, and I would much prefer if they would put in just a little, and I know I could Dremel one in, but I would rather they came from the factory like that. I've decided, having started doing this, I never used to care, but I can see why people say. How are we looking? Slight burr is gradually creeping up towards the spider hole there, but not quite. That does feel very smooth. You get these really hard steels on ceramic sometimes, it just feels like it's bouncing off. The S45 VN I sharpened yesterday with this, or was it today? God, I can't remember. was much easier than this. You know, few Rockwell points lower, and just a little bit less going on in the steel maybe. Can see why people might sharpen like this sometimes. Certainly does, as long as you can lock in, certainly does get more strokes per minute, that's for sure. And maybe K390 is that kind of steel where you want as many strokes per minute. Oh yes, slight burring. Even still though, slow going. All right, I believe I am burred. So that's 8 minutes so far on one side, so definitely a trick to it. And it's got a real sort of polishy finish already. Yeah, this steel is tough, man. Tough on ceramics, that's for sure. Well, I felt the burr quite nicely sort of slish off, which was good. It's kind of what you want. Give you guys a different angle maybe. How about boldness cam? You like that one? Let's go with boldness cam. That's pretty dry stuff, so I'll give you guys a different angle as well. 3 angles in one video. Why? It is feeling really smooth. This feels like a much finer stone on this steel, interestingly. Predictably somewhat, but interesting nonetheless. It's definitely something to these high-speed tool steels over your normal cutlery stainlesses and things. So if you remember the other day when I sharpened this on the workshop bench stone, that was just the power of diamonds. It was done in minutes. I think the whole thing took, was it 5 minutes? And yeah, it's just getting that first burr going, that, you know, apex in the knife. On diamonds, it's just so much easier. So why would you ever choose a ceramic? Well, that benefit is right now, it is feeling like a smoother polishing sort of stone. So it has that effect. It sort of cuts and polishes a little bit better than CBN. CBN isn't going to start polishing until much higher grits, in my opinion. Like my 800 grit side of the Spyderco CBN feels much rougher than this guy here. So this is sort of like, really can be, on the right steels, a one-stop shop stone. As I sort of showed on the S45 VM the other day, which isn't a slouch of a steel. Having flashbacks to when I first started sharpening, and I was using that really soft Besta Waterstone 700 as my like profiling stone, and I was just driving myself crazy because it just wasn't aggressive enough. This is kind of making me feel a bit like that again, though I think my technique has got a little bit better. So I should be able to paper slice with this. But I'm looking down at the steel there, it is really shiny stuff. It does feel sharp though, at least, which is something. It wasn't sharp at all before. Literally cut into bags of compost and you know, being gritted dull. Oops. All right, I'm going to move to a strop and see if I can get a slice going. Beavercraft, soft strop, then harder strop. Just the weight of the knife and sort of a bit of weight around my wrist, but I'm really trying not to over strop lately. This is thin leather, so it's not as plush as other leathers, which can sometimes creep back up over the top of the apex and be a little bit counterproductive in rounding, so it shouldn't do that as well, or as easily, especially if I'm just using light pressure like so. I'm really hoping this is going to be like a really scary sharp edge, but I'm really not sure. There's every chance that it will barely cut the paper, and that'll be a different conclusion if it does that. So, and I'll share it nonetheless. I have no ego. I mean, I guess I have enough ego to say that I have no ego, but I really don't mind being known as a, you know, as a middling or average sharpener. That's for sure. Because there's always something to learn from watching someone, even from watching someone do a less than stellar job. Swap over to the very fine side. All right, I'm very interested to see how it does. It's really quite a shiny looking edge. So, look, I just got to go, actually need to go find a sheet of paper. Be right back. Righto. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, that's a relief. Huh. Goes pretty well. Maybe a slight echo of manure right about there, but makes a gliding cut through. Not the sharpest this knife's ever been, but definitely possible to sharpen it on that stone. Well, how's that for a thumbnail shot? So in my opinion, you can absolutely sharpen higher end steels on just this ceramic. This was from completely dull to, you know, what I would call about a 7 out of 10 edge, just on this one stone and then a strop. So you can do it, but that wasn't the most enjoyable sharpen I've had. I would say you need a slightly higher skill level than me to do it confidently and to do it perhaps a bit quicker. I am still learning my strokes, learning my trailing on my bellies and things like that. So I would still absolutely prefer a CBN or a diamond plate or of some sort to do my initial cut of my steel to fix any dullnesses and things like that. But what this did do, it sort of moved it straight to a sharp and polished, very tidy edge that is absolutely serviceable, and I won't feel like I need to resharpen this for a fair while. I was able to match my 17-degree edge. It looks quite good. In terms of how it feels, it's, you know, it's a 600 finish with a bit of extra polish on it. So sort of similar edge to what the double stuff was doing, really. It feels a bit like that. So yeah, interested. I was wondering, this just purely to answer my own self-imposed question. Can I sharpen K390 and Maximet and things like that on just this? And I think the answer is yes, with an if. You know, the real answer is probably you should just get a diamond plate and make it a bit easier for yourself though. So, all right, that's the video for today. Hope you're enjoying. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.